Hi, I am Joanna Carlos Vicente and I am here with my groupmates Hazel Ann Bartolome and James Emil Martin, and we're going to discuss the Chapter 4 in Intermediate Accounting 2, which is Provisions, Contingent Liabilities, and Contingent Assets. So provisions is liability of uncertain timing or amount, estimated liability. So provision is actually a liability, meaning this is recognized on the books and kaya sinasabi na uncertain timing or amount because kapag sinabi na provision, certain tayo na may babayaran na. There is economic benefits that will flow outside the entity sa future. And there is a past events and we have a present obligation. So, yung word na dapat tandaan sa provision is the word uncertain. Hindi mo tukoy yung timing or amount ng obligation mo kung kailan mo i-settle or kung magkano. So, sabi doon na provision is estimated liability. Kaya estimated liability kasi nga uncertain pa yung timing and amount ng obligation mo. So, yung provisions differ from other liabilities is provision, uncertain timing and amount versus other liabilities. Accounts payable, other liabilities like note payable, account payable, may certain timing and amount sila. Certain timing, alam mo kung kailan dapat i-settle and yung maturity ng obligation mo and also the amount. Provisions are presented in the statement of financial position separately from other types of liabilities. So, recognition. Provision is recognized when all of the following conditions are met. So, yung provision daw may recognize kapag na-meet yung tatlong conditions na to. The entity has a present obligation, legal or constructive, resulting from a past event. So, dito sinasabi na kailangan may present obligation ng entity arising from past event. Yung present obligation naman is the liability at the end of the reporting period that we need to recognize. And yung present obligation na nag-arise from past events creates obligating events, which is legal and constructive. Legal, it results from contracts or big operation of law, or by operation of law, And constructive, it results from any of these actions like best practices. So, letter B, it is probable that an outflow of resources, economic benefits will be required to settle obligations. So, probable means most likely or most likely than not. So, 51% dapat may 51% pataas to defense of appearance. And dito sa letter B, this is like about kung sa paanong way mo babayaran yung obligations, cash or non-cash or through property. Letter C, the amount of obligation can be reliably estimated. So, sa letter C, the amount of obligation can be reliably estimated. Dapat na-estimate mo yung obligation reliably. May judgment ng professionals or ng experts. Kaya, reliably. If any of the conditions is not met, no provisions recognized. Kung hindi na-meet ang criteria, yung tatlo na yan, A, B, and C, then hindi siya i-recognize as provision, but rather, pwede siya i-recognize as contingent liability. So, changes in provisions. Provisions are reviewed at the end of each reporting period and adjusted to reflect the current best estimate. Changes in provisions are accounted for prospectively by accruing an additional amount or by reversing a previously recognized amount. So, provisions shall be reviewed at the end of each reporting period. So, kung naka-calendar year ka, from January 1 to December 31, as of December 31, i-review natin yung na-estimate. And yung adjusted to reflect the current best estimate, ibig sabihin, magpo-provide ka lang ng other provisions kung magdadagdag. Kung yung estimate ba before ay nadagdagan, ibig sabihin, kailangan mo mag-provide ng other provisions para dun sa nadagdag. If it is no longer probable, then the outflow of resources embodying economic benefits will be required to settle the obligation. The provision should be reversed. Application of the recognition and measurement rules. So, future operating losses. Dito sinasabi lang na no provision is recognized dahil hindi nito na-meet yung definition ng liabilities arising from the past events. Onerous contracts. It is a loss contract that cannot be avoided. Yung contract na to is yung cost na required para ma-fulfill mo yung agreement is higher than the economic benefit na ma-obtain mo from the agreement. If an entity ay na-identify na yung contract is on the rules, then provisions should be made in the amount of the unavoidable cost of fulfilling it. So, unavoidable cost is either net cost of fulfilling the contract or penalty, which is lower. So, example, except for aqua parks, swimmers also operate two team hotels in Aqualand. The hotels are held under non-cancelable operating lease that expired in 3 years. Swimmers managers estimate that due to overall decrease in the number of visitors, hotels will make an annual loss of 1 million each year of continuing operation. Swimmers may also prematurely terminate the lease but with penalty of 2 million. What should swimmer do in its financial statement in relation to this situation? So dito, titignan mo lang is there present obligation, although probable, or is it estimated reliably. So the calculation of provisions, ang penalty is given 2 million, and yung loss in case of completing the contract, na-compute siya in terms of yung annual loss na 1 million, ita-times mo siya dun sa 3 years. And provision na lower is, yung provision is 2 million because yun yung mas mababa.
Now let us proceed to contingent liabilities. When we say contingent liability, it is a possible obligation that arises from the past event and whose existence will be confirmed only by the occurrence or non-occurrence of one or more uncertain future events not only within the control of the applicant. So when we say liability, ito ay harap katutunan din ng provision in a sense that both contingent liability and provision is what we call uncertainty. Yung walang kasiguraduhan yung pagkakautang. Alam mo lang na meron kasi yung pagkakautang ang nakadepende doon sa occurrence or non-occurrence of the future event. At basically, yung event na yan na nangyayari sa hinaharap ay hindi naman kontrolado ng mismo entity. Next explanation is a contingent liability is a present obligation that arises from the past event but because it is not probable that an outflow of resources embodying economic benefits will be required to settle the obligation or the amount of the obligation cannot be measured reliably. It is contingent liability when hindi pa siya i-recognize kasi it is not probable. The amount cannot be measured reliably. So to sum up, pag sinabi ng contingent liability, it is a possible obligation. Pwede rin natin sabihin na it is a probable but not measured.
Let us now talk about contingent asset. What is contingent asset? So dito, we can just measure or recognize an asset if hindi pa siya probable or measured reasonably. From the word contingent, hindi pa siya sigurado or allowance pa lang siya, that is why we can just recognize it since siya ay possible asset pa lang and nakadepende siya sa future events. So, paano nga ba yung leveling or measurement niya para ma-recognize siya as an asset? So, here's a simple timeline that I prepared. So, kapag nasa 95% to 100%, ang tawag doon is reasonably certain or virtually certain. Kapag naman nasa more than 50% or 51% to 95%, it is probable. Pag naman nasa 50% or exactly 50%, it is possible. And kapag less than 50%, which is 49 to 0%, it is remote. So, diba, sa liability, it can be recognized kapag siya ay probable. Especially kapag yung liability is reasonably or virtually certain. Kapag naman it is possible, it is disclosed only sa liability to. Pero kapag remote na siya, it is ignored. Ulit sa liability, nire-recognize na siya as liability if probable, especially reasonably certain. Kapag naman yung liability is 50% or possible, it is disclose only. Pero kapag naman it is less than 50%, it is remote or ignore. Sa asset naman, nire-recognize lang siya as asset if only it is reasonably or virtually certain. Doon pa lang siya nire-recognize. That means kapag probable lang siya, dinidisclose na siya kasi classified siya as contingent asset. Kapag naman 50% or possible or below, ini-ignore na siya. So here's an illustration. A lawsuit filed by JJK Company against a competitor for infringing on their patent. Lawyers advise that there is an 80% chance JJK Company will win the lawsuit. So as stated, hindi pa tapos yung lawsuit even though may 80% chance of winning na. But there's still 20% chance of losing. So it is not reasonably certain kasi 80% lang siya, kaya hindi pa siya nare-recognize as asset but only probable. However, JJK Company can prepare a disclosure stating na it has filed the lawsuit but the outcome is uncertain. So let's proceed. Virtually certain, so as mentioned earlier, kapag nasa 95% to 100% chance na makaka-receive ka ng income, i-recognize na siya, so it is now an asset. Now, let's talk about measurement of provision. As a general rule, yung provision ay mini-measure at best estimate. It requires the use of management judgment and it is also used in one-off event. So here's an example of best estimate. In 2020, AOT company received a court order requiring the cleanup of environmental damages caused by one of the AOT factory. AOT has no realistic alternative but to comply with the court order. Other entities have incurred around 25 million peso for similar cleanup. AOT's best estimate of the cost of cleanup is 30 million peso. So, dito, dapat una, nire-recognize or ina-analyze muna natin if siya ba ay provision. First, if may present obligation. So, since it is already caused environmental damages, therefore, there's a present obligation. Second, if siya ba ay probable, which is yes, because there is no other alternatives. Wala nang alternative si AOT kundi mag-comply sa court order. And last, if na-estimate ba siya reliably? Yes, because naka-indicate na ang best estimate is 30 million pesos. So, since lahat ay yes, a permission must be accrued and disclosed in the amount of 30 million or yung amount na naka-indicate na best estimate sa problem. So, the next measurement of provision is expected value, where the provision involves a large population of items na kung saan ang ginagamit naman to measure is yung expected amount or value or probability weighted average. So, here's an example. In 2019, Nanami Company recalled a product due to a possible defect caused by malfunctioning factory equipment. The products recalled will be repaired free of charge. Nanami Company is required whether all products recalled will have the possible defect. However, the following estimate was made by Nanami's engineers and managerial accountant and approved by the board of directors. So here's the given amount. Repair cost of 38 million with a probability of 10%. 28 million repair cost with a probability of 30%, 18 million of repair costs with a probability of 25% and 8 million of repair costs with a probability of 35%. So, with the given problem, there is a large population of items. Magkakaiba-iba yung labor costs or repair costs and probability nila. Therefore, kailangan kunin yung expected value. Para makuha yung expected value, i-multiply mo lang each amount sa kanilang respective probability. Like, 38 million multiplied by 10% is equals to 3,800,000 and so on. Tapos ito total for the total of 100%. So the third one naman, the last way to measure a provision is by midpoint, where there is a continuous range of possible outcome and each point in that range is likely as any other. So here's an example. In 2021, a lawsuit was filed against Zenin Company for patent infringement. The plaintiff is claiming 88 million peso in damages. Zenin's legal counsel believes that it is probable that Zenin will lose the lawsuit and pay damages of not less than 8 million peso but not more than 88 million peso. The probability of any amount within the range is as likely as any other amount, also within the range. The plaintiff has offered to settle the lawsuit out of the court for 80 million but Zenin did not agree to the settlement. How much is the provision to be reported in Zenin Company year-end financial statement? So as stated in the problem, there is a probability na matatalo si Zenin and kailangan niya mag-provide ng not less than 8 million but rather not more than 88 million. May continuous range of possible outcome. Ang gagawin natin is midpoint. So, to compute the midpoint, yung 88 million i-add sa 8 million then i-divide by 2 equals to 48 million. Let's now move on to recording the provision. So, it is normally recognized as a debit to expense or loss and credit to an estimated liability account. So, given yung example natin kanina sa best estimate, yung pagre-record ng provision doon is debit environmental cleanup cost 30 million and credit estimated liability for cleanup cost 30 million. Risks and uncertainties. So since it is uncertain, there might be some instances na baka na mali yung estimate or assumption, kaya nagpro-provide yung entity ng allowance or risk adjustment pattern. However, dapat maging maingat ang isang entity sa pagpo-provide nito to the point na or baka magkaroon ng point na lumaki masyado yung allowance and mag-cause to ng overstate liabilities. Next is present value. So dito naman, if yung time value or yung value ng pera mo in the future is nagkakaroon ng probability na mag-increase or decrease, yung present value in the current reporting period of obligation na isa-settle mo in the future will be the value na kailangan mo isettle regardless if nag-increase ba to or nag-decrease yung value ng obligation mo in the future. Future event. If yung future event is may high probability na mangyari, kino-consider siya when estimating a provision. So, kapag malaki yung chance niya na mangyari, kino-consider na siya. For example, there's a new law that will be enacted about paying more taxes since malaki na yung utang ng Pilipinas. So, it is considered virtually certain kasi it will be enacted or it will be made or ipapatupad na siya ganun. Next is expected disposal of asset. Hindi siya sinasama sa pag-measure ng provision because nasa ibang account siya kasama, and it is only recognized after niya ma-dispose or after ma-dispose ng asset. So, dito naman sa reimbursements of asset, nare-recognize lang yung reimbursed asset if it's virtually or reasonably certain, where there's 95 to 100% chance na makakatanggap ka ng reimbursement. For example, ABC company is engaged in logistics service during the year. A warehouse was destroyed by fire. It was estimated that ABC company will probably pay around 10 million peso in damages caused to the goods owned by the customers that were contained in the destroyed warehouse. The contents of the warehouse at any given point of time are incurred for 1 million pesos. ABC company claimed for the insurance that have been approved by payments by the insurance company. So, it will be recorded as debit loss on fire 10 million, credit estimated liability on casualty 10 million. Then doon sa claim as reimbursement, nire-record siya as separate asset kasi it is virtually certain. So, it is now recorded as debit insurance claim receivable 1 million and credit gain on insurance 1 million.
So, yung restructuring, ang example dito is kapag nag-try yung isang business sa isang country or region para lumipat ng location, nagbabago din yung product line ng isang business or nagbabago ng management structure yung isang entity. In recognizing provision for restructuring costs, sinusunod pa rin yung general recognition criteria, but in addition to that, consider din yung mga sale operation, closure of or recognition, restructuring provisions or acquisition, future operating losses. So, sale operation, dito naman i-recognize lang siya as provision or ina-accrue lang siya kapag binding sale agreement of sale on or before at the end of the reporting period. Kapag after reporting period na, then disclose na siya. Closure or reorganization naman is i-recognize or ina-accrue lang siya kapag na-meet yung dalawang conditions, which is yung pag may formal plan na in-adopt and in-announce ito publicly on or before reporting periods. So, yun. Ina-accrue lang siya kapag na-meet yung conditions na detailed formal plan is adopted and announced publicly on or before the reporting period. Restructuring provisions on acquisition. So, dito naman, ina-accrue din yung provision kapag na-meet yung dalawang conditions, which are announced at acquisition and detailed formal plan is adopted between a short period of time after acquisition or 3 months. And future operating losses, dito not recognized. Hindi na rin siya nire-recognize. Next, measurement of restructuring provision. Dito ini-include yung direct costs necessarily entailed with the restructuring and hindi ini-include yung cost relating to ongoing or future conduct of the business. The following are excluded: retraining or relocating continuing stock, marketing, investment in new system and distributions. So, ito yung illustrative example. As of December 30, 2021, ABC Co. has adopted a detailed formal plan to close one of its toy division and put up a new division to manufacture wearable weapons. The plan was communicated through a public announcement and all of those affected by the closure were informed. ABC estimates the following costs in relation to the closure of divisions. So, ito yung given yung nasa taas. And sabi, compute for provision on December 31. So, paano nakuha yung 1 million na amount of provision on December 31? Paano nakuha yung answer na 1 million? So, yung termination benefits of employee, so yun yung amount ng restructuring. And yung cost of restraining and relocating retained employees, marketing costs for the new weapons to be manufactured by the new division. Sila kasi, or future conduct pa sila ng business. And yung payment for unpaid purchase made by division, ito, ano siya, accounts payable. And yung expected losses during the first year of operation of the weapons division, hindi siya nire-recognize. So, ang yung answer is yung 1 million, which is the restructuring, anong amount ng restructuring sa termination benefits of the employee. Also, application of the recognition principles. Number 1. An entity engaged in the transport services past experience shows that entity incurs around 100 M a year in car accident lawsuits. Can an entity accrue a year-end provisions for car accidents that can happen in next accounting period? So, the question is, can entity accrue a year-end provisions for a car accidents that happen in the next accounting period? So, dito the answer will be no, because there is no present obligation, because there is no accident yet. Kasi can entity accrue a year-end provision for a car accident that can happen in the next accounting period? So, wala pang present obligation. So, walang present obligation kasi nga, wala pang accident, wala pang past event. Wala pang past event na nangyayari. So, next example. During the year, a government regulatory body discovers that ABCO has caused environmental damages. The government order ABCO to pay a penalty of 100 M to ABC. So, recognize the provisions for the environment damages. The question is, the government orders to pay a penalty. Should ABCO recognize a provision for the environmental damage? So, dito, yes, pwede. Kasi, titignan mo ulit kung may present obligation ba, kung yung outflow probable, and kung measured reliably. So, since may present obligation siya, kasi nga yung damage ay na-cause na, or nangyari na, already has been caused, and the outflow is probable, kasi wala namang alternative, but wala namang other alternative but to comply with the government order. And the outflow can be measured reliably. During the year, a government regulatory body noted that the nature of ABCO's production processes may lead to possible damage to the environment. The government recommends that in order to operate in the particular way, ABCO must fit smoke filters in its factory. The cost of fitting the smoke filters is estimated at 100 M should ABC recognize a solution for the smoke filters. So, question is, should ABC recognize a provision for the smoke filters? So, the answer is no. Because, sabi, wala pang present obligation kasi wala pa namang damage. Ang meron pa lang is yung possible na maliit sa damage. But, pwede naman nilang i-avoid yun. Future and ABC can avoid the future expenditure by its future actions. For example, by changing the nature of production processes. So no, there is no present obligation because damages have not been caused and can be avoided by future expenditure.
Now let us proceed to other common types of revision. So the common sources of revisions are product warranties and guarantees, premiums, and guarantee for indebtedness of others becoming probable. So let us have an example so that we can understand it more. Ayan, let me illustrate to you an example of warranty. So when we say warranty, ito yung mostly na-encounter natin kapag nagpe-purchase tayo ng mga appliances and mga gadgets. So let us have an example. Mail company sells washing machine that carry a 3-year warranty against manufacturer's defects. Based on the entity's experience, warranty costs are estimated at 300 pesos per machine. During the current year, the entity sold 2,400 washing machines and paid warranty cost of 170,000 pesos. So the question is, what amount should be reported a warranty expense for the year? So para makompute natin to, ay i-multiply natin yung estimated warranty cost per machine, which is 300 pesos, at yung total units sold, which is 2,400. So ang total warranty expense for the year is 720,000. Ayan. Next is, what amount should be reported as warranty liability at the end of the year? So yung warranty expense na 720,000, ma-minus natin yung warranty payment na 170,000, and the total of 550,000. Ayan, idededuct lang natin yung warranty expense sa warranty payment para makuha natin yung warranty liability. Next naman is, let us have an example of premium. So when we say premium, ito yung ginagamit ng isang entity for sales promotion. So let us have an illustration. CB company started a new promotional program. For every 10 box tops returned and a remittance of 50 pesos, customers receive a tumbler. The entity estimated that 60% of the box tops reaching the market would be redeemed. Ayan, yung sales of products, unit 100,000 and for the amount of 300 million. 30 million. And yung tumblers, ang tumblers purchase unit is 5,500 and the amount is 4,125,000. So yung tumblers na na-distribute are 4,000. Para makuha natin yung premium expense for the year, kukunin natin yung maximum coupons na pwedeng ma-redeem. Ayan. So, paano nga ba yan mangyayari? So, yung 100,000 na unit kanina sa sales, i-divide natin. Ayan, yung 100,000 dyan sa sales, i-divide natin sa 10 box tops na required ng entity, which is equals to 10,000. Then, i-multiply natin sa 60% estimated redemption percentage. So, may 6,000 na coupons na i-redeem. Then gagawin lang same, i-multiply natin sa cost ng every premium less yung cash remittance para makompute natin yung cost in every premium. And then, i-divide natin yung 4,125,000 sa total amount na biniling premium sa 5,500 units, which is 70 750 pesos. And then, ililas natin yung 50 na cash remittance, which is magto-total siya ng 700 pesos. So, yung 6,000, i-multiply to 700, that is 400, that is 4,200,000. And that will be the premium expense. And to know naman the year-end estimated liability associated with the provision, para makuha natin yung estimated liability, yung number of coupons to be redeemed na 6,000, ma-minus natin dun sa distributed tumblers na 4,000. So, may balance tayo na 2,000. Then, yung cost of amount ng every premium, which is 700 pesos, ita-times natin doon and magto-total siya ng 1,400 million. And yun yung magiging cost ng estimated liability natin. Ayan, estimated liability, i-multiply 2,000 times 700 equals 1,400 million. Next is guarantee for indebtedness of others. So, dito usually hindi na recognize yung liability sa guarantor when making guarantees. Pero pag probable na magkaroon ng liability si guarantor, halimbawa pag na-default yung original debtor, ma-recognize siya as provision dahil magiging liable si guarantor.